Alright, let's try this one more time. I was recording a video about the WWE games that came out on the 360 and got interrupted by a phone call from my brother-in-law, so I had to stop recording. Anyway, we're starting out with SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. Basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to talk about the things I liked about each game and things I didn't like. Okay. I didn't like the general manager mode, or whatever you want to call it, on this game. Really the only thing I did kind of like was the roster on this game. I actually just went back and played it a few months ago and got 930 gamer score on it because I hadn't taken the time before that to play it, because I bought this game and SmackDown vs. Raw 2008 when some of the newer WWE games were already out, so I didn't take the time until 2011 to actually play them. Anyway, I don't know really how the online was on this game, because I just played it enough online to get the online achievements for it, so I don't really know how it really was. Okay, SmackDown vs. Raw 2008. Well, basically this game sucked, really. Especially the story mode, or whatever it was called, because it was just the same thing over and over and over again. But then again, I think, if I remember right, 2007 was the same thing over and over again too, I think. But, and again with this game, I didn't play it online enough to really know what it was like, because I just played it online enough to get the achievements, and then I stopped playing it online. Yeah. SmackDown vs. Raw 2009. I will go into more detail about that game because I played it a ton. Because my friends had it when it first came out, so I played it a lot online. I mean, the online on that game, there were a ton of glitches. For example, like the glitch choke finisher, or whatever the hell it was called, that pretty much killed you if you got hit with it. You couldn't kick out no matter what you did. I don't have 2009 anymore because I can't seem to find it anywhere. I've looked through my entire collection and can't find it. I don't know what happened to it. Apparently someone took it without asking. But anyway, yeah, 2009 with the glitches. It wasn't just that though. There were a ton of other glitches, like the one where they grabbed the ref and you couldn't make them let go. Or the ones where they would go in the crowd or whatever. Or, I mean, there were a ton of them. Or they would hit you with the backbreaker on the turnbuckle post, and then they would carry you into the crowd and then throw you back out of the crowd. Then they would be in the crowd and you couldn't get in there after them or whatever. There were a ton of those glitches like that on 2009. And there was another glitch finisher. I just can't remember what it was. I forgot what it was now. But yeah, there were a lot of glitches on 2009. And another thing I didn't like about 2009 was the fact that you had to play through more than... I think I had to play through probably 3, 4, maybe 5 times to get all the achievements on it. Because you had to make different decisions or different choices to get the achievements or whatever. I didn't like that. Because, to be honest, it didn't really... The story, no matter what you chose, it wasn't really that much different than the original story or whatever. It just had little changes to it. So I didn't like that. But when I was playing with my friends, we had a lot of fun, though. That's basically the only way you will have fun if you're playing a WWE game online, is if you're playing with your friends and people you trust that won't glitch you. That's pretty much the only way you're going to have fun playing a WWE game online. Okay. SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. Yeah, there were a ton of spam moves on this game. Like the spears and all that. There was also a lot of glitches online again. Like the one that I started noticing towards about the time that SmackDown vs. Raw 2011 was about to come out. I started getting glitched to where, like in tag matches, this one match I had with this guy that used to be on my friends list, it was a tag match, and these two guys froze both of us in the corner, and somehow I was able to get unfroze, and then I unfroze my partner by running into the corner and clotheslining out of the corner. And then they froze us again and just kept doing that the whole match until they finally got to the point where they froze me and didn't freeze him because he sucked at the game. So they double teamed him for the rest of the match and ended up winning because I was frozen in the corner and couldn't help him. So yeah, there were a ton of glitches on this game too. And it got to the point where I just stopped playing tag matches because every tag match we did, we got glitched. So we ended up just starting... Basically, we just started playing player matches with people on our friends list and stuff like that because it got to the point where we couldn't do anything in ranked matches because we got glitched every match. So, which, to me, I thought it was kind of funny because people do that kind of stuff on these games because they care so much about the record and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, I have a good record on these games, the ones that I actually took the time to get a good record on, like 2009, 2010, stuff like that. But at the same time, I didn't like playing ranked matches because every time I did, I would always get glitched. SmackDown vs. Raw 2011. don't get me wrong, there were some good things about this game, like the what was it? Physics and all that. I liked that. It actually made the game fun offline and online, kinda. But at the same time, there were a ton of problems with the online, because it got to the point where I couldn't play matches online because every time I tried to go to a match, my 360 would freeze. I don't know what that problem was, but yeah, it just got really messed up. Plus the online Royal Rumble, there was a ton of problems with that. Like, I was in an online Royal Rumble with 5 or 6 people on my friends list, and about halfway through the match, for some weird reason, it just glitched to where everybody looked like they were in a different match because they were seeing different things happening on their screen. Like on my screen, it showed that I had eliminated all the people that were on my friends list, and on their screen they had eliminated everybody else. So everybody had thought they won the match, but at the end we all lost because it counted as a loss on everybody's record. So yeah, I didn't like the online Royal Rumble because it was glitched. But eventually I was able to actually win one without it glitching. Another thing that I didn't like was the hacked finishers that they had on this game. There were a ton of them. And I do mean a ton. Because there was like one where it was that move that John Cena does, the what was it? The throwback, and then it would freeze you. And then there was a choke slam one, and then there was a power bomb one, and then there was a lot of other ones that they made. And they actually uploaded those hacked finishers on Community Creations and didn't even get in trouble for it. And people were downloading them. And another thing was they had these hacked or modded characters that they made, and they uploaded those on the Community Creations also, and people were downloading them and using them, and basically when they had one of those type of characters, you couldn't beat them no matter what you did to them, because they would always kick out of a pin, they would always break out of a submission. So you were basically screwed if you faced somebody that had one of those characters. So that kind of made me stop playing it online. And what else? Oh yeah, Community Creations was messed up to the point where if you tried to upload, download, or vote on anything on Community Creations, most of the time it would either kick you off Community Creations or it would cause your system to freeze. So that was kind of messed up. And I mean, really, these games haven't really done anything to improve, because every year there's new glitches. Every year, like on 2011, Community Creations was screwed up, and it's still screwed up on WWE 12. They didn't improve that at all. They said they released a patch, but it's still screwed up on WWE 12, despite the fact that they said they patched it. But another thing I liked when they first introduced it to the WWE games was the creative finisher mode. But it's got to the point now where they're not really improving it, and they're just taking stuff away from it. And not only that, there's a lot of moves on creative finisher that aren't the right moves. Like with package pile driver and create a finisher, it's not the actual package pile driver, because a package pile driver is not a power bomb. So I don't know why they did the motion capture for it, and instead of doing the right move, they did basically a power bomb, like a pump handle type power bomb. And another thing, they have the move names, but they don't have most of the moves, so I don't understand why they do that either. Like, they have Psycho Driver, but they don't have the actual Psycho Driver in the game. You can't make it. If they're going to have the names, they need to at least have the moves to go with those names, so you can actually make them. Otherwise, it makes no sense. WWE All-Stars. I don't know why, but for some reason I like this game more than I like most of the other WWE games. Despite the fact that it's over the top and arcadey and all that, it's still, to me, it's still more fun than the other games because, well, basically because of that. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. But at the same time, I really didn't like this game for a few reasons, and I'll go into that. Okay, first of all, you can't actually create a finisher on this game, so you have to use someone else's finishers, and you have to use someone else's moveset and all that, because they didn't really give you any options if you create a character. So that's really one of the main things that I didn't like about it. Another thing was, when you create a character, you're basically creating some generic type character, because the created characters are really generic on this game. I think I created a character named the Bounty Hunter or some stupid shit like that, because I didn't want to actually take the time to really mess with it, because any way I did it, it was just going to be something generic anyway, just because of the way they made the create a character options and all that. Anyway, and online, I don't know if there were any glitches, because I just played online long enough to get, I think there was a couple of online achievements that I got on this game to get 1,000 gamer score on it, but as soon as I got that achievement, or those achievements, however many there were, I just quit playing it online. So I don't really know that much about online, other than, even though I was playing it for the achievements, it was still fun to play online, because it was still over the top, and I still didn't know what to expect in every match that I played on it. Okay, WWE 12. I've already got 1,000 gamer score on it, and I don't like the way they're doing the achievements, like the one session or whatever you want to call it achievements. Like the achievement that was on 2011, where you had to do like 1,000 and something finishers and signatures or whatever it was in one session. They brought back the one session achievements on this game too, but they don't take as long as that one did to get. You just have to win a certain amount of matches, or do a certain amount of whatever, like breaking tables, chairs, or whatever it was, and win think it was 30 something matches with Edge and stuff like that. So the achievements on this game are really easy, despite the fact that they're one session achievements. And you have to win, I think it was like 50 matches in a row or something like that in one session. At least I think that's what it was. But the community creations is still messed up like it was on 2011. At least last time I went online on this game, it was still messed up. The roster is actually pretty good because of all the DLC they're releasing for it. I don't know why Brock Lesnar's on this game, to be honest. He kind of pissed me off because in universe mode, after my first match, he comes out and attacks me, and then after that, I get attacked by Randy Orton, then I get attacked by The Undertaker, and then I just keep getting attacked. That happened for like my first 2 months of universe mode. I just kept getting attacked over and over and over again after every match. And that got to the point where that just pissed me off. And then, what else? Yeah, I like universe mode on this game though. A lot better than I did before. Because it's actually more fun. Because of the fact that you get attacked so much and different stuff happens. Like, groups will form and stuff like that out of nowhere. Stuff you don't expect to happen. But Road to WrestleMania on this game sucked. I mean, there were like the Sheamus storyline that really sucked because I just didn't. It wasn't realistic at all. Basically, you had Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, William Regal. Who else was it? Wade Barrett. Can't remember if anyone else was in the group. But you had those guys basically taking every title in the WWE, which made absolutely no sense because those guys are not that dominant. I mean, Sheamus is the only one that actually is kind of dominant sometimes. The rest of them not even close to as dominant in real life as they are on the game in that storyline. Especially guys like William Regal and Drew McIntyre. They're basically jobbers now, most of the time. I don't even know if Drew McIntyre is actually still in the WWE, because I stopped watching it a long time ago. But anyway, then you had that storyline with Triple H and Road to WrestleMania. I guess it made sense because some of that stuff that happened in the storyline has actually happened in real life before with him. Like where he gets injured and stuff like that because he's injury prone. Everybody already knows that about him. But yeah, that's pretty much the only one that kind of did make sense, at least as far as the injury goes in that storyline. Then you had the created character one in the storyline in Road to WrestleMania where you had to face off with WCW. The only thing I didn't like the only thing I didn't like about it was that I didn't get a choice whether I wanted to join the WCW faction or stay with the WWE. I don't know if that was actually an option or if anybody actually got the choice to choose which one they wanted to be with, but I didn't get a choice. Another thing I didn't like about Road to WrestleMania was the fact that a lot of times the voiceovers weren't there. They would just be standing there and You would see them talking, but you couldn't hear anything. There was no audio at all a lot of the times in the road to WrestleMania. It just, basically the audio just died out to where you couldn't hear it at all. But yeah. The roster is pretty decent, like I said. And they still didn't really do anything with... Another thing I didn't like about it was they lied about a lot of things. THQ lied. Just flat out lied about a lot of things about this game. And IGN gave it basically a fake review or whatever and gave it a high score. But yeah. Like, they lied about a lot of things about this game. Like, what's his name? Brian said that there were 300 and something new moves, but I only saw a couple that I hadn't seen in other games. Like Sin Cara's finisher and stuff like that. Most of the other moves are just moves that are already in the game. They're just a different animation. There's nothing really new about them. And then there's that move that Karma, that submission move, I can't remember what it's called in the game, but she has a submission move that when you download her, you get that submission move. Those are really the only ones that I saw that were kind of looked like they were new or whatever. But the rest is basically just stuff that's been in games before. But yeah, eventually they need to actually do something new with the WWE games, because I'm to the point now where I just don't want to play them even for achievements. I'll probably just keep buying them for achievements, but it's getting to the point where I don't want to play them. Even though I'm an achievement hunter, it still gets on my nerves when they lie about things and say, oh yeah, this is in the game, this is in the game, this, that, whatever, and then it's not. Or they just flat out lie about how good the game is, like IGN did. Because WWE 12 in no way, shape, or form should have been as high a score as they gave it. Because everybody else gave it like a 5.5, a 6, or something like that. And IGN gave it like a 9 or a 9.5 or whatever it was, I think, or an 8.5, I can't remember. But they gave it a high score and it didn't deserve it. Because this game is not that good. The only good thing about it really is universe. Everything else is who gives a shit. I wish they would work on the create a finisher mode and actually fix the botched moves they have in it and actually add new moves to it instead of just keeping on taking moves out like they do every year. Like on 2010, I was able to make this move. It was a crazy ass spinning type. I don't know what the hell to call it, but I wasn't able to make it on 2011, and I still can't make it on WWE 12. I was only able to make it on that one game, on SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. Since then, I haven't been able to make it. But yeah, that's just my opinion on these games, and I'm just trying to be honest about them, because there's not really that much good about any of them, really. There's a few little good things, but most of it's just all bad, to be honest. And I haven't spent enough time playing this online to know whether or not the online has as many glitches as the other games, because I just don't give a shit about playing it online, because nobody on my friends list has this game except for one person. Well, no, 2 people. And that's it. because everybody I used to play these games with, I'm no longer friends with because they just turned into assholes or whatever. And one guy I used to be friends with, just basically he just stopped gaming altogether. He just dropped off the face of the earth. But anyway, that's just my opinion on these games, and I'll be uploading this video here as soon as I can.